In this morning's Money Watch, spending your tax refund if you're getting one. There's just over a week left to file, and most Americans say they plan to use their refund to pay off existing debts. That may not be the best thing to do. Here with some tips is AOL Consumer Advisor LaToya Drake. LaToya, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to see you. So the average tax refund is about $3,000.
That's correct.
What should be the top priority for those getting that refund?
Now, of course, it may be burning a hole in your pocket, but you can do some smart things. Experts say look to build a contingency fund. This is to hold yourself for about 6 months in case something unforeseen happens. Think loss of a job, think health scare, something happening to your home. You want to take care of yourself in case something arises that you did not expect. That
so-called emergency fund that we talk about. If people do want to pay down debt, because that also is a good idea, we should mention, what the smartest way to do that is doing what? Paying
off your credit cards with the highest interest rates. Sure, it feels good to pay off those smaller debts that you can knock out in one shot, but really getting rid of that high interest credit card debt will really save you a lot of money on the back end.
You've got those credit cards with 18 or 20% interest, which are outrageous. Pay those off right away. You talk about paying it forward. What does pay it forward mean?
Paying it forward. Look after yourself in the future. So if you have a home, you think you're going to sell it a few years from now, do a little home improvement that will maybe increase the value of your house a little bit later. And then also improvements like making your home energy efficient or green efficient. Next year, you can write those off on your taxes.
People get that big chunk of change, and there is that temptation to spend on yourself. Is it that wrong to treat yourself a little bit?
Not at all. It is not that wrong to treat yourself to something like a vacation. We've had a horrible winter. We're finally getting into spring. Say you want to do something like take a cruise, go to the Bahamas. Travelocity has a lot of deals right now. They've got a deal to the Bahamas to cruise as low as $315 depending on the city of departure.
And I saw that one study said that people are actually happier if they're going to treat themselves buying a couple smaller things spread out throughout the year as opposed to one big splurge. So
absolutely.
Another thing to think about there. You talk about getting creative if you have that tax refund. How can we get creative with it?
So we've been smart. We've created that emergency fund. Let's have a little bit of fun. One thing that you can do is maybe treat yourself to a shopping spree. We talk about that long winter. Stores are needing to get rid of some of that winter spring merchandise to make way for some of the summer clothing. Take yourself shopping. And then also there are a lot of other things you can do. Like maybe one woman got creative and she used that money towards an adoption. This was the story on walletpop.com. She decided, hey, I'm adopting 2 children. I want to put that money towards the adoption fees, so you can use the money on that end in ways that are a little bit unexpected.
Can't think of much of a better idea to spend the money on than that. What a fantastic idea. Finally, as we prep for next year and get ready here, are there anything we can do specifically to potentially minimize the tax bill or just prepare ourselves, because April 15th comes around quickly again in 2012.
It comes around, it'll be 2012 before you know it, but you have to pay attention to the deductions you're taking. The higher the deduction, the less money the government takes out of your check. So even though they're taking out less money, you'll have to pay that money next year. So there's a little bit of trickery, if you can use that as a word, that people do to kind of manipulate the amount of money that's coming out, but pay attention to how many dependents you're claiming on your tax forms for this year.
Just stay on top of it.
Just stay on top of it.
It does come around quickly. LaToya Drake, some good advice. Thank you very much.
Of course, thank you.
For more about your tax refund, you can check our sister website, CBSMoneyWatch.com.